Heaven designed a very specific path for your life. But every time Archangel Michael tries to guide you, you scroll past. You are minutes away from losing what was meant only for you. Open it now. There is a scroll in heaven with your name written upon it in eternal ink, a divine blueprint not crafted for any other soul in existence. It is not a generic map. It is not a shared inheritance. It is the sovereign design that was formed in the mind of God before the foundations of the earth. Every step, every divine appointment, every season of favor, all laid out in precision by the one who knows your end from your beginning. Archangel Michael hath been sent more than once to nudge you toward it. He has whispered through sudden thoughts you didn't expect, set white feathers along your path, and illuminated numbers that kept appearing until you could no longer call them coincidence. Yet too often, the signs have been brushed aside, the messages scrolled past, the holy interruptions ignored. But heaven's clock does not sow for hesitation. The window is narrowing, moments away from closing, and the blessing assigned to your name is on the verge of being reassigned. This is not a fear to manipulate. It is a warning rooted in truth. There are seasons when heaven offers an open hand, and if left unanswered, that hand closes and turns toward another who is willing. What you stand before now is not common. It is not for the masses. This is a rare spiritual crossroad where your obedience will either unlock what has been guarded for years or leave it sealed away until another generation. This message finds you in the exact moment heaven ordained because the divine clock is striking. This is not an accident. The timing is too exact, the tug too precise. You have reached the thin place between the seen and the unseen, where your next choice determines whether you step into the unrepeatable or remain in the familiar. Stillness is your key. Obedience is your weapon. The noise of the world will disguise itself as urgency, but the voice of heaven is calling you to a pause, to lean in, to listen, to prepare your hands to receive. The blessing ahead is unlike anything you have ever known. Its weight will alter your days and its light will change your name. But only if you answer now. Type "I will not miss IT" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 777 is now activated. In the name of the living God, I speak as one sent to deliver a message you were not meant to miss. Hear the voice of Archangel Michael now, for this is not a casual word, nor a comforting echo. This is a holy interruption. You were not scrolling by chance. You were not distracted into this moment. Heaven has halted you mid-step because something in your spirit cried out for divine direction, even if your lips have been silent. Before this night ends, the unseen realm will shift according to the choice you make. In the next few moments, you will stand in the invisible courts of heaven, where angels record the responses of the chosen. The Lord himself has dispatched his warrior angels, and I, Michael, have been permitted to speak plainly. You are at a threshold that will never appear in your life again in this form. You are not one among many in this hour. You are one of the few. Right now, the atmosphere in heaven is not quiet. It is alive with motion. The great scrolls are being unsealed, their edges burning with the light of glory. Names are being read aloud before the throne, some marked for immediate release of blessing, others placed under delay due to hesitation. Your name hath been spoken in the council of heaven, and all activity waits for your next step. You do not see it in the natural, but in the spirit there is a circle of angels surrounding your assignment, protecting what has been written about you since before you were formed in the womb. But here is the urgency you must understand. Heaven's movements are precise. When the signal is given, events will unfold with or without your agreement. Your obedience can secure it. Your delay can forfeit it. The enemy is also aware of this timing and has stirred distractions to pull you away in this very hour. That is why this message feels like an interruption, because it is. You were not supposed to find this by leisure. You were meant to be stopped by it like a door slammed shut in your path so you would look up. I have seen many scroll past the signs, the repeated numbers on the clock, the dreams they wake from too quickly, the moments where heaven touched their shoulder through a stranger's words. But those who scroll past too long wake up to find the blessing has been placed in another's hands. I do not want that to be your story. The Father does not want that to be your story. This warning is not for the many. It is not being whispered to the masses. It is a targeted call, drawn like an arrow and aimed directly at your heart. That's why your chest feels tight, why your mind is wrestling with both the desire to listen and the temptation to dismiss. You know in your spirit that this word is different. The angels are already in position. The assignments have been written. Heaven's clock is not patient with indecision. Do not think that silence is safety. In this moment, silence is a decision in itself. You are being asked to align, to open your heart, to yield without delay, because the next shift will be swift. And when it comes, you will either be standing in the place of promise or watching from the outside. This is why you are hearing me now. Not because you sought it, not because you were looking for a sign, but because heaven is looking for your yes before the door closes. I, Michael, have been commanded to bring this to you personally in spirit, because the one who holds your life's blueprint will not let this moment pass without giving you the chance to claim what is yours. The time is now. The door is before you. The blessing is still in your name, but the ink is not permanent until obedience seals it. Type SAYYES in the comments if you receive this message. Lesson code 444 is now active over your life. There is a reason you've been feeling the quiet weight of restlessness in your spirit. It is not merely stress. It is not simply fatigue. It is the trembling of your soul sensing that something is shifting, but without a clear picture of why. Heaven sees it. I, Michael, have watched it. You wake in the night with thoughts you can't explain, a sudden sadness, an unnamed urgency. This is not random. It is the tug of the Spirit trying to draw your attention to an unseen interference in your path. Someone, somewhere, has been subtly nudging you away from your divine blueprint. It may not be with malice. It may not even be conscious. But their words, their doubts, their distractions have been like fine threads wrapping around your spirit, pulling you in directions that feel reasonable but are leading you away from the exact alignment heaven prepared. This is why your peace has been disturbed. This is why joy feels harder to hold. Listen to me carefully. There are whispers about your next step, but they are guessing, not guided. They speak as if they know your future, but they cannot see the scroll written for your life. They operate from what they've seen in the natural, not from what hath been decreed in the supernatural. And if you are not discerning, you will take their uncertainty as your own. That is the danger. Right now, heaven has allowed the disquiet to rise in your soul as a signal, so that you would not mistake this moment for an ordinary season. Your discomfort is a holy alarm. Your confusion is not weakness. It is the Spirit pressing against the fog to help you feel that something is off. And yet, the full truth is not being shown to you yet. That is deliberate. For if all were revealed now, the weight might overwhelm you. I am telling you plainly, the reason for this spiritual tension will become clear soon, but only if you remain awake to the signs. The enemy thrives in distraction, in keeping your hands busy, your mind scattered, your eyes fixed on what will not matter in eternity. But heaven is asking you to pay attention now, to hold your thoughts captive, to measure every voice you listen to against the quiet confirmation of the Spirit. You may have noticed patterns lately, faces that appear in your mind without explanation, certain conversations that leave you feeling drained, invitations that feel strangely hollow. Do not dismiss these feelings. They are markers. They are clues. They are heaven's way of saying, be careful. Not every path is yours. Not every hand is safe to hold. In this hour, you do not need to solve the entire mystery. You only need to remain sensitive enough not to wander out of position. Because the greatest danger now is not obvious sin, it is subtle misalignment. The smallest detour in this moment could cause the largest loss. I am speaking this so you will not be caught unaware. Heaven will reveal the hidden things in due time. But right now, your call is to guard your focus, protect your obedience, and stay anchored in what you know to be true. The storm outside you is not as dangerous as the drift within you. Anchor now, before the pull becomes too strong. Type I am awake in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 333 is now guarding you. If this word has pierced your spirit, then you already know heaven is speaking directly to you right now. And when God sends a word this specific, it's not just for you to receive. It's for you to help carry it to the ones still wandering in the dark. Every seed you sow into this mission becomes light in another soul's night. The word says, he who waters will himself be watered, and I declare that over you as living truth. I feel led to invite you. Stand with us in spreading these prophetic messages so that no one misses their divine moment. You can do this through Super Thanks, YouTube membership, or by sowing directly through the PayPal link in the video description. As you give, I decree an open heaven release over your life. Your obedience will not return empty. Act now, for heaven's timing is precise, and so is your harvest. You have been wondering why the resistance feels so intense, why doors that seemed open a month ago have suddenly slammed shut, why conversations that once flowed now carry tension. Hear me, this is not because you are failing. This is not because you have lost your way. This is because the magnitude of your calling has triggered opposition on a scale you have not seen before. Every great calling draws the attention of heaven and the attention of the enemy. The very fact that you are encountering increased resistance is proof that you are walking toward something that matters in eternity. Do not misinterpret the pressure as punishment. It is confirmation. You are moving in the right direction, and the forces of darkness are scrambling to stop you before you reach the threshold of your next blessing. In the courts of heaven, your name has been attached to a specific assignment, one that carries the potential to impact generations. That is why the enemy cannot simply ignore you. You have grown beyond being a casual believer. Your faith has become dangerous to the plans of darkness. So now, the attack is not merely to hurt you. It is to distract, delay, and detour you from the very moment heaven has prepared. Understand this. Confusion is not always a sign of absence from God. Often, it is a test, a divine measurement to see if you will follow the still, small voice over the loud, persuasive noise of the world. The Father is watching to see if your trust can survive without immediate answers, if your obedience can stand without full explanation. This is why the path feels clouded, because heaven is refining your discernment. And I tell you truthfully, the enemy always fights hardest when the blessing is closest. The battle you feel right now is not endless. It is not permanent. It is the storm before the shift. The very intensity of what you face is a countdown clock to the moment the skies clear and the promise manifests. But if you misread the signs, you could abandon the process just before the reward is released. I, Michael, have stood at the edges of battles far greater than this, and I have watched too many turn back in the final stretch. They let the heaviness convince them that heaven had forgotten them. They mistook silence for rejection, when in truth it was a test to see who would remain standing. You must not become one of them. Every reaction you give in this season is being observed. Every word you speak is shaping the path forward. Heaven records not only the actions of the enemy, but the posture of your heart. And I tell you, your perseverance in this exact hour will carry a weight far beyond your own life. It will be a signal to the spirit realm that you cannot be moved by intimidation. The opposition you feel is not an indicator that you are unworthy of the promise. It is the very proof that you are carrying something worth fighting over. And if the battle is this fierce, then the blessing must be extraordinary. Let that truth anchor you. Let it steady your hands and guard your thoughts. So I say to you now, do not retreat. Do not let the shadow of resistance block the light of the promise. Stand firm. Keep your spirit sharp and your faith engaged. For soon, the same intensity that tried to crush you will become the very testimony that lifts you. Type "I will endure" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1010 is now guarding your path. Hear me well. The air in the spirit realm is not still right now. It is charged. Movements have begun that will touch your relationships, your opportunities, and even the resources assigned to you. This is not months away. This is not a distant season. Within a short span, heaven has marked it as 72 hours. There will be a visible shift, for better or for worse, depending on your alignment in this moment. Already, angels have been dispatched with instructions sealed in their hands. They carry orders to either deliver the blessing in full or hold it in suspension until another appointed time. These orders are active and not pending. They are moving even as you hear my words. And yet, the enemy's forces are also stirring, trying to position people, thoughts, and temptations in your path that will influence your next choice. You can feel the heaviness in your spirit. The sense that something is about to happen is not paranoia. It is spiritual sensitivity. That weight is not meant to crush you. It is meant to alert you. It is heaven saying, prepare now. Because when the moment breaks open, you will not have time to scramble into readiness. You will either be in position or you will not. I, Michael, have watched the assignments around you grow in volume over the last days. There are conversations happening about you in rooms you have not entered. There are decisions being formed that will affect your name, your work, your influence. Some of these are being guided by the Spirit, and others are being guided by agendas that have no concern for your destiny. If you ignore this moment, you risk letting others define your next chapter without heaven's signature. Do not mistake this as an open-ended invitation. Heaven's windows operate on divine timing. When the scroll turns, it does not turn back for the sake of hesitation. There are blessings that are seasonal, meant to arrive in a specific hour because that is when their impact will be the greatest. If missed, they may not return in the same form again. That is why the urgency is so intense in your spirit. Understand this: the next 3 days are not ordinary. They are an intersection of divine opportunity and spiritual warfare. And in this intersection, your discernment must rise above your emotions. You must not allow frustration, fear, or distraction to dictate your steps. This is the time to withdraw from unnecessary chatter, to silence voices that stir confusion, and to stand guard over your peace like a watchman over a city gate. There is something moving closer to you even now. I am not permitted to reveal the fullness of what it is yet, because part of your preparation is learning to lean into the unknown without panic. But I will tell you this: what is coming carries weight. It will either anchor you deeper into your purpose or pull you sharply away from it. and heaven is watching to see which way you will lean. Do not let your guard down. Do not assume the delay means nothing is happening. The unseen world is in motion on your behalf, but you must meet that motion with obedience, not passivity. A moment will break suddenly, and when it does, you must be found ready. Type "I am ready" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1212 is now surrounding you with divine protection. You have heard the warning. You have felt the urgency. Now, I must speak to you as a commander speaks to a warrior on the battlefield, because what you do next will determine if you remain under heaven's covering in this pivotal hour. The first command is this: withdraw from unnecessary noise. The enemy thrives on cluttered minds and distracted hearts. Every unnecessary conversation, every opinion disguised as advice, every argument that drains your focus, these are weapons formed against your clarity. You cannot afford to entertain them. This is not isolation for the sake of loneliness. This is separation for the sake of survival. The second command: choose silence as a weapon. The enemy feeds on reactions. Every time you defend yourself unnecessarily, every time you explain what heaven has not told you to explain, you give away ground. Silence in this moment is not weakness, it is strength wrapped in discipline. Even the enemy can't interpret the movements you do not reveal. I, Michael, have stood over warriors in their darkest hours. I have seen those who thrived not because they had the loudest voice, but because they could hear the faintest whisper of the Spirit when the storm roared around them. This is the posture you must take now. Still enough to hear, calm enough to obey instantly, guarded enough to let nothing pull you from position. Each morning in this window of time, begin your day with protective declarations. Speak them aloud as decrees over your life. I am hidden under the shadow of the Almighty, and no weapon formed against me shall prosper. My path is ordered, and my steps are secure. These are not empty words, they are spiritual shields. The enemy recognizes a soul that speaks with conviction, and heaven responds to a voice that agrees with its own decrees. Your words set the boundary lines in the unseen. Third command: fast from distractions. This does not always mean abstaining from food, though that is powerful. It means deliberately cutting off anything that steals your spiritual sharpness. For some, it is scrolling endlessly. For others, it is constant entertainment. The Spirit is saying, be intentional. Even an extra hour of stillness can shift the trajectory of a day. In this season, your stillness invites heaven's defense. Angels are not moved by panic. They are moved by faith. When you choose peace over fear, you align yourself with the frequency of heaven's protection. You become difficult for the enemy to locate because you are hidden in obedience. Also, guard your physical space. The enemy often tries to influence your environment to influence your spirit. Keep your atmosphere clean, both spiritually and physically. Pray over your home. Anoint your doors. Remove objects or influences that carry heaviness. Make your dwelling a place where the Spirit rests without resistance. I must tell you, protection in this hour is not only about defending against attacks. It is about keeping yourself pure enough to recognize the delivery of the blessing when it arrives. Many lose what heaven sends because they are too distracted or too wounded to notice the answer to their prayer standing in front of them. You must not let that happen. So I say it again. Withdraw from unnecessary noise. Use silence as a weapon. Speak protective declarations daily. Fast from distractions. And guard your space. These are not optional. They are survival commands from heaven's war room. The blessing is in motion toward you. The enemy is also in motion against you. Your obedience will decide which one arrives first. Type I am covered in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 555 is now sealing your life in divine defense. You have endured the shaking. You have felt the weight of warning and the call to protection. But hear me now. You are not standing in this moment as a fragile soul barely holding on. You are here as one who has already survived battles that should have destroyed you. You are not the same person you were when the last storm came. Heaven has watched your endurance, and it has changed your identity in the spirit realm. Your enemies, both seen and unseen, do not recognize you anymore. The trials you faced were not wasted. Every tear you shed became oil that strengthened your anointing. Every season of waiting became a forge where heaven refined your faith into something unshakable. You may still feel the memory of the wounds, but the scars are proof that you healed. The pain was not for nothing. It was a refining fire that made you untouchable in ways you can't yet see. I, Michael, tell you this truth. The enemy's perception of you is outdated. They still expect the version of you that flinched at the first sign of conflict, the version that doubted at the first delay. But that version is gone. You have been elevated, and elevation always changes perspective, both yours and theirs. Picture this. A caterpillar does not argue with those who doubt it can fly. It simply transforms in silence and appears again with wings. This is you now. You are in the moment where the transformation is almost complete, and soon, those who thought you were bound to the ground will see you lifted to heights they cannot follow. You have been refined like gold in the fire. The flames that were meant to consume you instead burned away what was never meant to remain. You have been stretched but not broken, pressed but not crushed. Heaven has allowed certain pressures so that you would discover your own strength, a strength you did not know you carried until it became necessary to stand. I see now in the spirit that your very atmosphere is shifting. The angels assigned to you are not only guarding, but also preparing a way forward. You are not in survival mode anymore. You are in preparation mode. This is why the attacks have felt different, not as if you were being destroyed, but as if the enemy was trying to distract you from realizing your own momentum. Understand this. Your history proves your capacity. If you survived the past storms, you can carry the next blessing. If you navigated seasons where you could not see the road, you are ready for the season where the road opens wide before you. The strength you carry now is not just for defense, it is for movement. You are about to take ground. Lift your head, square your shoulders. Speak as one who knows that heaven's favor has marked them. Your obedience, your resilience, and your faith have built a foundation that cannot be stolen. The winds will come, but they will only push you forward now. You are not here by accident. You were not preserved this long only to stay hidden. Heaven is positioning you for display, not for your glory, but for the glory of the one who kept you. This is your moment to step forward with authority, not hesitation. Type I am strong in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 888 is now releasing your strength for the next level. The veil is lifting now. What was hidden in mystery is beginning to come into view, and I am permitted to reveal what heaven hath been preparing in secret. This trial you have been walking through was never meant to break you. It was designed to align you. You have been positioned for a higher role, a greater blessing, an inheritance that could not be entrusted to you before this season of refinement. I, Michael, have stood watch as the testing was applied, not to disqualify you, but to prove you. Every moment you chose to keep moving when quitting felt easier was a signature on your scroll in heaven, proof that you could carry what is coming without losing it to distraction, pride, or compromise. And now, the moment approaches where the Father's intention for you will step out of the unseen and into the visible. Heaven's intent is promotion. Not the kind measured in titles or applause, but the kind measured in authority and spiritual reach. This is a release, a loosing of what has been bound up for years. There is an inheritance in your name, written before you took your first breath, that has been guarded until the appointed time. That appointed time is now drawing near. I see your name etched into this divine assignment, not penciled in as a suggestion, but carved into the decree as unshakable fact. The enemy has tried to cover it in the dust of delay so that you would forget it was there, but heaven is blowing the dust away. Soon, what was once faint in your vision will become clear in your hand. The path ahead is not cluttered anymore. Where there was fog, there is clarity. Where there was blockage, there is an opening. This is what happens when obedience meets timing. The gates that seemed locked swing open without resistance. You are stepping into a stretch of divine momentum, where one step of faith will feel like a leap forward because heaven is carrying you. But take heed. This moment requires your yes. Not a hesitant yes. Not a delayed yes. A yes that speaks from deep agreement with heaven's plan. The blessing is in sight, but it will not chase you. You must walk toward it. You must claim it with both your voice and your actions. You will know this is real when the alignment begins to accelerate, when connections appear without effort, when doors open you did not knock on, when confirmation comes from sources you did not seek out. These will be signs that heaven's decree is active and the assignment is unfolding. Do not shrink back when the release comes. Do not apologize for being chosen. You have been prepared for this, tested for this, refined for this, and the one who sends the blessing has also secured the strength for you to carry it. Type I receive IT in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing Code 2020 is now releasing heaven's plan into motion. When heaven releases a word this precise, it is not meant to end with you. It is meant to ripple into the lives of others still wandering without guidance. Right now, you have the opportunity to stand as a vessel for that ripple. The Lord says in Isaiah 55:11, "My word shall not return void," and when you sow into the spreading of His word, you become part of that living promise. I feel a strong pull to invite you to join in this mission of delivering light to those who are scrolling past their destiny unaware. You can stand with us through YouTube Super Thanks, membership, or a direct PayPal seed link in the video description. As you give, I declare the oil of multiplication over your resources and the swift return of your harvest. Do not delay. The same timing that applies to your blessing applies to your giving. Sow now, and watch heaven respond. This is the moment where you stop hearing and start moving. Heaven has not brought you through warnings, revelations, and preparation only for you to remain still. The blessing assigned to your name is within reach, but heaven will not place it into the hands of the hesitant. You must claim it with the authority already written into your destiny. I, Michael, tell you with urgency, speak now. Decree now. Release your agreement into the atmosphere so that heaven can seal it. Words are not mere sound. They are signatures in the spirit realm. Your declaration, spoken with faith, activates doors, shifts alignments, and calls forth the blessing that has been waiting on your response. Do not underestimate the weight of your voice in this hour. When you declare, "I step into my assignment," angels move. When you say, "I claim what heaven has written for me," the enemy's hold on delayed blessings weakens. When you confess, "I will not miss my moment," the scroll with your name is marked as sealed in favor. But declarations alone are not enough. Obedience must follow them. This is the part where you step into action that matches your agreement. If the Spirit says move, you move. If the Spirit says wait, you wait. If the Spirit says release that burden, you release it without hesitation. Destiny does not respond to half-hearted participation. Understand, this window will not remain open forever. Heaven's timing is perfect, but it is also purposeful. The door is open now, and the light spilling through it is meant to guide your steps. But if you linger too long in indecision, the door will close, and the light will fade until the next appointed season. I do not say this to bring fear, but to bring truth. This is not a common activation. It is not a generic calling. This is specific, personal, and non-transferable unless you surrender it. The moment you choose obedience, you align with every angel assigned to you, every provision meant for you, every connection prepared for you. The moment you choose delay, you allow the enemy to reroute what was meant for your hands. Think of the countless moments in your past where you wish you had moved sooner, spoken sooner, acted sooner. This is not meant to be another memory of hesitation. This is meant to be the moment you can point to and say, that's when everything shifted. Your spirit already knows the truth, that you are not standing in this moment by coincidence. The reason you feel the pull in your chest, the reason your hands might tremble, is because your spirit is reaching for what it knows belongs to you. Do not silence that pull. Follow it. So here is your charge. Speak your agreement aloud. Take one action that aligns with heaven's leading, and do it now. Do not wait for the perfect clarity. Clarity will follow obedience. This is your activation moment, your crossing point, your appointed time to step into the fullness of what heaven has been trying to give you. Type "I activate my destiny" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1313 is now aligning every step with heaven's blueprint. Right now, as you read these words, there is movement in the unseen realm that your natural eyes cannot detect, yet your spirit can feel. Heaven's courtroom is in session. Angels are standing before the throne, holding scrolls with your name on them. Some scrolls are open, revealing blessings already in motion. Others are sealed, waiting the Father's command to be released. This is the silent exchange, negotiations between the forces of heaven and the accusations of the enemy over your destiny. I, Michael, stand in the midst of these exchanges. I have heard the enemy present cases against you, reminding heaven of every delay, every doubt, every moment you wavered. He speaks as though your human weakness disqualifies you from divine inheritance. But I have also heard the voice of your advocate, the one whose blood speaks louder than every accusation. He points to your faith, your endurance, your willingness to rise again after every fall. These exchanges are not emotional debates. They are legal proceedings in the Spirit. And when heaven rules in your favor, nothing in creation can reverse it. Right now, decrees are being written. Angels are sealing them with the signet of the King. These decrees carry instructions for release, specific timings, assigned locations, prepared vessels of provision. There are blessings you thought were lost forever, conversations that never happened, opportunities that slipped through your fingers, relationships that broke without closure. What you did not know was that some of those blessings were not destroyed, they were held in waiting. Some were taken unjustly, but heaven is ordering them to be restored. Others were delayed for your protection because to have received them too early would have caused harm. But now, the timing is aligning. This silent exchange has been ongoing for weeks, but today it reaches a critical point. Heaven is not just discussing your future, heaven is finalizing it. Assignments are being transferred into the hands of angels who will deliver them directly to you. Strategies are being whispered into the ears of people who will become answers to prayers you haven't prayed yet. Your spirit has sensed this shift before your mind could process it. That's why you felt moments of unexpected hope, even in heavy days. That's why certain memories have surfaced lately, not to bring pain, but to remind you of promises that are still alive. The Spirit has been stirring you so that when the delivery comes, your faith will recognize it instantly. But understand this, exchanges in the Spirit can be intercepted if you open the wrong doors in the natural. Agreement with fear, compromise, or bitterness can give the enemy leverage to delay what heaven has decreed. This is why your obedience now is not optional, it is protective. Every moment you choose faith over fear, you strengthen the case for your blessing's immediate release. I am telling you as one who has fought in the fiercest battles over human destinies, you are winning this one. The enemy's accusations are being overruled. The scrolls with your name are being sealed in victory. The blessings that were once out of reach are being placed back into your hands, not because you earned them, but because you endured long enough for heaven's timing to meet heaven's mercy. So stand still in trust. Let the exchange finish without interruption. When the delivery comes, and it will come swiftly, it will carry the weight of every prayer you thought was ignored and every seed you thought was lost. Type "I claim my restoration" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 9090 is now securing your inheritance in the courts of heaven. Heaven's ruling had been issued. The gavel has struck in the courts above, and the decree is clear. What was stolen must be returned. What was blocked must be opened. What was delayed must be released. I, Michael, have been commanded to carry this announcement to you, not as a suggestion, but as a statement of divine fact. For too long, the enemy has operated as though the losses in your life were final. He believed that the time taken from you could never be restored, that opportunities missed could never return, that peace broken could never be healed. But the Judge of Heaven has overturned his claim. This is the hour of divine reversal. The Spirit of God declares, I will repay the years the locust has eaten. That repayment is not symbolic. It is tangible. It is specific. It will show up in ways you can touch, see, and experience. This reversal will not be subtle. It will be undeniable. Those who doubted your recovery will watch as doors they thought were closed forever swing wide again. This justice is exact, not approximate. Heaven does not simply hand you a general blessing and call it restoration. Every moment stolen, every relationship twisted, every resource drained, these are recorded in detail. The restoration will match the theft in measure and exceed it in weight. That is the nature of heaven's justice. It returns what was lost and adds interest. The enemy fought so hard to block this because he knew the release would be multiplied. If you had received it when first intended, it would have been powerful, but now, after the waiting, the refining, and the testing, it will be unstoppable. What he used to delay you has only increased the force with which the blessing will arrive. I see in the Spirit that relationships wrongly severed will be healed or replaced with greater ones. Opportunities stolen by deceit will reappear in higher forms. Peace shattered by constant battles will return as a double portion, deeper and more unshakable than before. And every onlooker who questioned your endurance will see the vindication with their own eyes. Do not think for a moment that this reversal is random. It is strategic. The timing is designed not only to restore you, but also to silence every false word spoken over your name. The tables are turning in full view so that your testimony will be complete. You will not only say, God restored me, but God restored me in front of those who said it was over. And hear this, the enemy will be forced to release what he still clutches. He has no legal right to keep what heaven has decreed is yours. I have been sent to enforce that ruling. Angels are already moving to remove what belongs to you from enemy hands. This is not a slow process. It will come in waves, sudden and undeniable. Your role now is simple. Remain aligned. Keep your heart free from vengeance. Justice belongs to the Lord, and He will not need your interference to complete it. Instead, keep your hands open to receive. Watch how quickly He will fill them. This is your hour of divine reversal. The ending you thought was final hath been rewritten. And this time, the conclusion will leave no question about who fought for you and who holds your destiny. Type "I receive my justice" in the comments if you receive this message. Lesson code 4545 is now executing heaven's reversal over your life. You have just walked through a message that was never meant for the masses. It was crafted for the few who could feel heaven's urgency pressing on their spirit. This was your moment of divine interruption, your personal summons to step into alignment with the path written only for you. Every warning, every revelation, every promise you have just heard is time-sensitive. The window is open now, but heaven will not hold it forever. I, Michael, seal this over you: clarity for the next step, courage to obey without delay, and the strength to hold the blessing once it arrives. I release the shield of divine protection over your mind, your relationships, and your resources. No force of darkness will be able to penetrate what heaven has assigned to you in this hour. You are marked as chosen, and the evidence will follow you in the days ahead. Remember this: you are not stepping forward alone. Angels are walking with you. Doors are opening for you. And the same God who spoke your destiny before you were born is the one who will see it to completion. Lift your head. Steady your heart. Move as one who knows they are sealed, seen, and sent. Thou rise. The path is lit before you. Your name is on the scroll, and heaven is waiting for your yes. Type "I am sealed" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 7777 is now establishing your destiny. Before we close, I feel the Spirit urging me to speak to those who know this word was for them. You have just received a prophetic impartation, not just for comfort, but for activation. And now you have the chance to carry the same light into the lives of others still standing at their own crossroads. Proverbs 11:25 declares, "Those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed." When you sow into this work, through YouTube Super Thanks, membership, or a direct PayPal seed link in the video description, you are not giving to a platform. You are fueling heaven's assignment. I speak over every giver that your seed will return multiplied, your obedience will unlock divine favor, and your name will be spoken in the courts of heaven for increase. Act quickly, because just like the word you've heard today, the timing of your sowing is holy. Step into it now and watch the Lord answer.